Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Timber Dune, where we've capped it off. No longer will we have a ocean of bad tide running throughout the cabin down here, so that is glorious, and it makes me happy. But it also reminds me of the fact that we don't have any more bad water coming into here. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that entirely. That just means that we're going to have to find another bad water source, which I kind of alluded to, that I kind of had an idea as to how to fix that on this side. Put a little reservoir of bad water in here, and that can continue to feed all these systems, and maybe that's how we rectify that issue for us, because these three little pumpers aren't doing it for us. And yeah, it's not what we want to see, is to run into bad water, because that provides us stuff for our explosives and stuff for our extract, which is somewhere hiding in here. There we go, 2,000 units of extract, so on and so forth. And it's going to be necessary for other stuff like our grease when we start tapping into the grease manufacturing, which will happen eventually. But we have rectified the power problem for ourselves, which is glorious. And we also add an additional 1,200 units of power or force power over here. We just need to run that all along this backside and connect that into here somehow, and that would be great, and that'll provide us with a little bit more juice. And I think what we're going to be tackling today is a couple small projects. One, I mentioned that I wanted to create some sort of lake over here, and that requires us to do a couple of things. One, figure out how to stop ourselves from running into this bad water pollution issue. Two, getting into all these and dealing with that. So we want to come down here, we want to cap off that bad water drain, that drain, and these two drains. That will stop the flow of bad water through this system. And then we could come down here and do the same on this one. Oh, there is a bad water source over here. Okay, I did not know that there was another bad water source. Okay, that's cool to know. And then we do still have a couple of water sources that are dotted about the cabin in here, and we could dig down into those and gain access to them as well. That requires a little bit of shenaniganry that I'm not quite ready to tackle, or maybe that's something we can tackle today. I'm not entirely sure if I have the capacity to do so. There's a lot of water to be blowing out of that source right here, which we could feed out into this system and feed even more water into this system over here, but I have to figure out a way to push all the bad water off, which probably looks like punting it off into this area down here, which we have the capacity to do so. We've got the explosives on hand. We've got a drought as well. Maybe we do that. I think we'll do that. So giant lake, cap off a couple bad water drain pipes down in that river to alleviate that issue. And maybe even if we have access to that. No, we're gonna have to cut our way into there to gain access to all that. So that's something that we could definitely accommodate. That shouldn't be that big of an ask for us. So let's do that. First off, we need to figure out a way to run that water out. How deep are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're 3 deep there. That's going to cause a bit of an irrigation problem for us if we do anything crazy. So we want to have something probably 2 wide that runs bad water out that way, and have some sort of irrigation barrier sitting on top of that. Or we just put in a bunch of levees. Levees prevents the spread of negative irrigation one way or the other, which I'm not opposed to doing. So let's think about this. We run this line this way. We go up here, grab this, probably even run this side over as well. Tackle this from both sides. Do it like that, and then run this way. We continue running this along here, all the way out that way. Now, we want to probably do a couple things. One, put you in here, clear out all of that mess, which means marking all of you for cutting. Two, not miss a couple of those things. Two, grab you, which is already there, and grab that button. And continue stacking up this side. This tower is getting a tad bit excessive and ridiculous, as I have pointed out a plethora of times, but I am not one to complain about what is working, so that is all that matters. Now, this goes in right here, and right here, and then that goes like this, and like that. And that goes right there, and that goes right there. This wraps around this side, and then we wrap around this back side. That gives us a little bit more lumber storage, which is becoming an issue. We've got a lot of lumber that isn't being tackled yet, and clearly I missed a few spots here and there, so that's fine. Okay, let's get the game back up and running, rocking and rolling where it belongs. And additionally, we do want to run this as well, so let's not leave this on the side as a project that is not completed either. So let's go ahead, grab this, we'll connect that to there, and we'll connect this to there. And now we will run this down all the way. Nope, not what I wanted to do. You go, you are in line, disregard. And now I think we can get rid of this. I don't think this is necessary anymore. Since we've capped everything off, we shouldn't have any more bad water spilling out anymore. But I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it in for now. Just because I think I've solved a problem does not mean that I've solved a problem. So we're going to let that be. We're going to let that be. We're going to grab all that, run that all the way across there. We're going to have to grab this path, run this all the way across here, and do the same down here, and then connect that in like that. And I think we also need to do the same back over here. So that all gets connected in, education connection. That's all now one singular unit, and that is going to run all the way over there. I feel like I should be fine just ripping all of that out. I should be fine. Should be fine. I'm going to keep telling myself that I should be fine until I'm probably blue in the face. We can't just run the power up and through there. I'm not opposed to that. That would require me to get a few more beavers in this position, but I've also got 3 bots over here with nothing to do with their hands. How did that happen? They get stuck somewhere? Probably. You can be one more in there. Cool. That's all the bots taken care of. All those positions taken care of. So now we can do that and that without being too concerned about our poor beavers messing with their tootsies too much. And of course, all those beavers are quite sad. They're having to do stuff over there. Now I want to come in here, rip this out, rip that out, rip that out, rip that. Not that. That, and that. And all of this, all of that. Cool. Give me this path. We run that path, continue to connect all of that to there. Get the rest of these thorns out of the way because they're thorns in my side. And I'm not a fan of those things. And that means that all of this gets yeeted too. I think we can just very easily click that like that. And that gives all of our bots something to do with their hands without too much issue, too much consternation. And I still have yet to get down here and solve this problem. I did want to run this power into here and up into here at some point. That has not been taken care of yet because I have the attention span of a goldfish. And fireworks are going on. That's I need to remember that that's set to go off every time that one little sensor goes up. That's probably going to continue to be an interesting thing to hear popping off. I think we can just do this one all the way down to here, and that goes in like that, and then this goes forward like this, and then this goes forward like that, and this goes forward like that, and that's already butt up against the edge. Now grab this, run this all the way down to there, all the way down to there. Grab me you. All the way to the edge there. Grab these levees. Levees all the way down to the edge as well, and then do the same on this backside. And I do have access to this now, actually, so we can come in here and rip these out and put in flow valves as opposed to the fill valves or throttling valves. That shouldn't cause an issue, hopefully, with the huge amount of water that's about to start flowing in here because of that I just unleashed, because that's a lot of juice. Flow rate of 1 meter, 1 meter cubed per second. I feel like that's a good flow rate. I feel like that's a pretty good flow rate. We could do the same thing down here. Right? And then we can just leave these closed. Yeah, I think that'll work. And now it shouldn't overspill and cause a massive flooding incident every time we turn around in there. We might want to crank that up to something a little bit higher during the temperate cycle so that we're not waiting for this whole thing to fill in. But I think, and maybe we max that out and put in a depth sensor or something. I'm not entirely sure how I want to tackle that. But that is something for me to think about at a later point. Let's keep raging across the machine right here and get that all the way in. Now, how do we... I don't want to get into here too. How do I crawl into that without causing an issue? I feel like this is... Is that at the gap? It is. I'm going to have to pop that somewhere somehow. Maybe give it a release over here. I still don't understand why all these water sources are in here. Are these negative water sources? I wonder. No, they're just 0 water sources. I wonder why they're there. Interesting. Okay. I have no idea why those are there. Let's give these Build-A-Bots a little bit more something to do with their hands. They can reach all that side, and that's good. We'll get that connected at some point in the future. We are not quite done with this over here. Let's do that. And now, how is this coming along? That's doing decent. I want to get in there without causing a massive flood of poo water. Because the moment I open this river, it's going to just go everywhere, right? This river down here is just going to spill out everywhere. But it is a necessary evil. So let's give ourselves a marker to aim for. So that's that marker right there. We can blast ourselves down in there. Now, since we didn't tear this out and saved ourselves a little bit of heartache, we can actually get back into here, open that pressurized system. That would even give us access to crawling in there and capping all those things off, which I'm not opposed to doing. Just a matter of running all that material in and about the cabin down there. Maybe we do something bit more aggressive than this. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna have to do. How are we doing over here? Probably throw in a few more of these guys just to get all of that cleared up and out of the way. This is all in now, so that's good. We have 6,000 units of storage available to us. That is a good thing. I'm here for that. How are we doing on all of this? This is going in good, and that's good. We can hit this button. So, destroy that. That's no longer necessary there. And let's pop that in right there and see how deep that goes. That hits there. It gets us into that cavity. That's what we need to see. Now, I think we need to also give ourselves some stairs down into there. I could do this without stairs. And do a tubeway system in there. Boosh. Okay. So that was low enough pressure to not cause an issue for us. So that's good to know. Fill that in all the way back up. Let's pull this back down. Here that puts us right there. Can I fit this in here? I cannot. But I can fit this right here. And then I can go up one more. And then I can fit this in right here. And that should be doable. Now, are there any more hidden Bad Johnnies in here? I don't believe there are. Is this a positive one? No, that's negative as well. Or 0. That's a 0, so that doesn't allow water out. Are you? You're positive. We're going to have to figure out a way to punt you off, because that could be a source of good water for us. Okay. Where were we working? Right there. Get out of that mode so we don't accidentally do something we don't want to be doing. That'll take a minute for all that to go in. That's all going to go in very quickly. Hopefully, what we can do is help out with this whole shtick. That's going to be logs. You're going to be planks. I think we need metal blocks as well, or is it just metal blocks and planks? I can't recall. We can check though. Planks, gears, and metal blocks. So let's bring in a small thing of gears. We're going to need a lot of this. So let's hit the obtain button, prioritize obtain unnecessarily, but we're going to hit it anyway. And we will need logs for other things as well. So yeah, we're going to get back down into there and cap all that off, and that should be good. Okay, cool. These guys do not need to be prioritized obtain anymore. Same for you guys. Same for that, and same for that. We should honestly just hit the deny button there. Nothing to do within range. You guys are all bored. That means you all are fired. Sweet. We have 12 days to get this uncapped and feeding somewhere productively. Cool. So let's pull this. I don't really have a way to mark that. Let's pause the game for a second. I think it looks kind of something like this. See what that does. That should offset by 1. Think. Maybe, hopefully I'm only offset by 1. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I need to go over one more to the right. This is probably the silliest way to go about doing this, but you know what? We're fine. Everything's fine. Everything will get taken care of one way or the other. No shift that time, right? Yes. All right. It's in. That's what we wanted to see. And now we also want to blast out a line this way for all that water. I think we want this to be singles along the top here, and then we want doubles up here. We also need to gain access to all this stuff and get all this ripped out. Get this marked for cutting as well. Let's keep that a plus up priority wise. And we don't have to pop that open quite yet. And this is going to be quite the insane amount of water coming through here too, so we have to be very cognizant of that fact as we work our way through all of this. Get you back in here. Did I mark all that? I did. Cool. Let's get you back in here as well, and you do the same. And let's get all of this marked for being ripped out as well, just so we don't have to deal with that shenaniganry. I think that's everything except for the lumber. I really shouldn't care about the lumber, honestly, but it's fine. We are getting the explosives in, so that's all that really matters. Let's go ahead and get that in right there. Cool. Now let's go over here, check in on this. This is now ready for us to do something like this. And we've got 10, 11, 12 days left to tackle all that. Once I get this in, we can get back down into that side and get everything plugged in down there, which will provide us access to get down and cap all of those infernal bad water pipes off, which is what we want to see. Now, how are we doing with everything else over here? I think we've got this situation solved, honestly. So I think we can officially start doing this. We want that to be there. We want that to be there. And then, yeah, we want to do the same thing over here. Delay that connected to that. I want you set to 1 tick. You go to 1 in 12 hours. You get clicked down there. You get connected to that. You get connected to that. I think that alleviates a lot of our heartache. Now the question is this working for us? Okay, that threshold of 0.2. Let's pull this up to 0.3. I feel like that's getting a tad bit lower than I would like it to be. And are you connected to this timer? You should be. And are you connected to this timer? You should be. Good. That means that you're all turned on, so that, so to speak. That is what we want to see there. Good, Gucci, amazing. We have access to this now, and that means that we have gained access to all of this. They haven't gained access to all of that yet, because I didn't give them access to that. I think if we hit this button, they should be able to get everything accommodated down there without too much issue as well. And we could be a little extra and run tubeways all the way over to here. We can be a little extra. No reason not to be. We have the material. And it's just a matter of running this all the way. It doesn't even need to go there. And then this goes like this. That gets ripped out. And then we run this like this. That gets connected to that, and that gets connected to that, and that gets connected to that. And now we don't have to run 5,000 miles. They can just automatically connect into all that. And there we go. Everyone's happier about all their life choices and letting me run their little colony. Cool. You guys are all bored, so you guys get all fired yet again. And we can start or continue this process of putting this all in. Now, they did stop doing everything because they probably can't reach all this stuff, which is acceptable. Now they should be able to reach all that without any issue. And now we are all connected. Now our beavers can run about the cabin. Okay, so I'm just going to destroy you guys. Yeah, and we'll have them come and clean this up. I don't need you filling that side in anymore. All right. Okay. Cool. Get you ripped out. Put this in here. And then... put you in right there, you in right here, you in right here to there. We are doing 14,000 different projects at the same time, and I am here for it. We can connect all that up, give this a little rip out right there, and that's good. We connect this now to this side, like that. We go up and up. Now we put this in here and here. We connect this to there to there. It's connected all the way across and then some. Now, would it look prettier if I buried this? Yes. Do I care? Probably not. I kind of do, but I'm not going to concern myself with that too much. Okay, cool. That's in. That's awesome. This is what we want to see down here. We want to rip all of that out. Now we want to put this in down here. And I need to triple check to make sure I don't have any bots or any biobeavers in builders' huts, which it does not appear as though we do. And now we need to do the same thing with this, which I believe I've already swapped this over, which we have. Good. Just gonna triple check all these positions over here. Okay, we're fine. Get things back up and running, and that's what we want to see. So now we have access to this. This is what we want to see here. So we pull that across there. We grab this. We run this across, and we start to cap all these off. This is what we want to see. So that goes in right there. And now we put in a series of levees in front. Pull that up by... well, we don't even need to do anything like that. So that gets capped off. That's super simple, super easy. And we can come over here further by grabbing this triple. We're not even... what is... anything else in here? That's... how are you being fed? You're being fed by this water source, which we will have to mitigate at some point as well. Same for you. We will want to cap in or dump into that. Oh my goodness. That's a little uh-oh that almost came into being. Okay. Let's focus on the task at hand, which is capping these off somehow. Could even go so far as to fill this in. Like this. Like this. And that prevents anything from that river below us feeding into here. And that also means that we can... yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And let's come in here. We click this button. We toss that on top of there. That's going to take 5 years for that to get thrown in. But it will get thrown in, and that's all that matters. I don't think that we need that right there, since that is covered. We just do the same thing right here. go ahead and fill this hole in. Like that. Now, I think we need to bring dirt in over here now. So we don't have to run 5,000 miles to get all this in. But that should be relatively easy for us to accommodate. That's all capped. That's all capped. Probably just cap these off with water or with dirt, but levees are easy. And let's come over here. Do this. Make sure I'm not losing it. A couple of these places. Appears as though we're fine. We need to come over here. Do the same thing on you. Let up one. We're good there. And then we've got to come over here somehow. Which should be as easy as putting this in. And putting this side in right here. And that lets us rage back that way. Honestly, we can just punt in from that side. Save us a lot of heartache, but there's also a lot of bad water in here, so I don't necessarily want to do that either. So this will have to do. You, give me you. Don't think that's necessary. I will put it in there just in case, though. Make sure that that's not causing any more issues. And I think that's all of those. I do want to also get in there and cap those off too. Where are those at? Are these connected to any? I think we can unpause it real quick. This river that runs through it does not feed into anything else that I can see. So we should be able to just blast our way in without too much issue and cover all those up and then figure out what to do with all that water too. Okay, let's get things running again. Run back down here. And check on what's happening with this bad Johnny. It's taking its sweet time, but it will get accommodated, so that's a good thing, and I am here for it. All right, so I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to give it a few minutes running its sweet at the speed of beavery goodness smell as we come in here and cap all these off, and we'll see you on the flip side of the speed up montage. All right, be right back.
Marching
And with this last little beaver running in with 4 metal blocks, we'll have this this capped off as soon as they come in and actually finish the rest of that. So we have successfully covered each of these bad tide drains, I believe. Now, we have to triple check that we have covered all the rest of the bad tide drains, which I believe we have. The only problem that potentially exists is this system here, feeding in here with bad water, and actually it would provide bad water and good water, but I don't have a way to divert it yet, so that is an issue for us. So what we want to do is probably even come down here and fill this gap in somehow. I don't believe that there is an easy way for us to accommodate that other than, I think if we do something like this, since we can run these across there, I wonder if we can do that. Awesome. So let's do that. Let's just cap all of this off with those. So that means that we do 4 across there, do a single here, and we do 5 across, 6 across here. We do doubles here, do double there. I think we do double here and here, and do singles all the way down here, and then to here, then a single there, and then we do 6s across. We do 4 here, and a bunch of singles there, a couple doubles here, and then singles here, and then that lets us put in just a bunch of impermeable flooring on top of here. And that should alleviate any of that system from filling in this hole. That means that now it's just a matter of putting all of that in, and now we can blast down without too much issue into here for now until we figure out a way to deal with this river, but I don't think this river is going to be a problem for us. This river is a problem, but it's being alleviated right now. What is that? Why is that there? That's weird. Shouldn't have been put in there, right? Yeah, that's odd that that was put in. It's probably when I was filling this hole and just like filled that out. All right, that's cool. So it'll take a few seconds for that to all get done. And while all that is happening, we can come over here and finish up the rest of this shenaniganry. Realizing I just missed a spot. Oops. We're going to have to fix that. Give me path. Fix that problem that I just created for myself. Boo. So give me a little staircase. Give me a double here. Then I think we wanted triples all the way through here as well. That goes like this, all the way along this line. And so my thought process is cut down here to the depth of that spice source, and that summarily gives us access to this water and a outlet for the bad water when it becomes an issue for us. Now we can cut across this way and have this fill our lake that we're going to craft on this side, which means I probably want to increase our extract on this side as well. And I'm realizing that we're out of bad water somehow. We are not meeting that bad water demand. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Let's fix the bad water problem that I was wanting to fix earlier, which means we do something like this. Give this a priority bump. And give this a little... I think we want to do doubles, no triples here. So triples all across there. We do singles along the top here. out to here. And we want to give this a plus up priority-wise. This will save us the bad water issue that we are currently contending with. In theory. Hopefully. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't know. We're also running into a charging station shortage as well, I'm realizing. So let's get that rectified. I want to get it rectified in a manner that's a bit more beneficial. How's this looking? That's not bad. So let's key in a couple back here. Give these a little bit of a priority bump. And we can do the same somewhere else in here, maybe, hopefully. Does not appear as though that is a fair statement, and I still haven't finagled my way into the power problem for this whole system down here, so I should fix that at some point or another, but alas, I have neglected to do so. And I also want to probably pull this up to 2 meters per second squared. Can we do the same for you guys? Would that be excessive? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Probably not, because they don't have access to charge ports. It's most likely due to the fact that I have them running halfway across the world to accommodate all of the little tasks that I'm having them do, which is entirely on me. Let's give this a priority bump over here as well. Yeah, bad water is becoming an issue. These guys are bored out of their mind, obviously, because I've capped off the capacity for those guys to do anything. And those three are definitely not doing anything worth a darn in the first place. See how this all works over here. Probably just pause all 4 of these, or 6 of these anyway. There's no need for them to be on anyway. They're just wasting their time. And we can put in... I don't want to put those in. I kind of want to put those on platforms on top and then back here. Run this across that even, and connect this up to a 2-way network to make their lives a little bit easier on this back end. Now we're at 12,000 thereabouts. And I also never did put this to get them to finish the rest of this. So let's get this in as well. Just because that is another 12,000 units of horsepower available to us that I would like to take advantage of at some point or another. And I don't really have an easy way for me to tack into this, so that just means that you get to be blasted down, you get to be a staircase down, you get to be that over here, and then we just tap into that whole system right there. And then we could even maybe finagle a way to fix this whole shtick, because I did want to put another wheel right there, but alas, I did not. Let's hit this button. See what this does to our power. That's the end of that drought that we were in, so that's good. This is going to fill up back here. And once that fills in, any excess is going to fill back out this way. So we were at 11,000, and this should get back up to 11,000. As everything spools back up, it seems like we're trekking in the right direction. Yes? Alright, cool. That is a good thing. That is what we wanted to see. I do want to give this a plus up priority-wise, and also you, And if we hit this button there, this guy should be able to get back up on top there and do his job. And put all of that in. Probably throw that in right there, and that means that we can just crawl across like that. And he's going the long way around to do all of that. Maybe we rip that out since that's no longer necessary. I don't know, maybe. We just get rid of that and pull this in that way. There we go. I don't think I have... Well, I do have sparkly planks coming over here, right? I have kohlrabi. And kohlrabi is, as usual, causing us way more problems than it should be. Give you a plus up. Give you a plus up. Come on. That's in, so that can go boom. Grab this and pull this across. There. Now we put in a series of... Oh, well, you can't get across there. Now you can. So you get to be... Oh, that's 6 across. That's fine. That's 3 deep. Do that. Do this. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do this, and then this, like that, and that. Nope, that's unnecessary. So that goes like this. 5 across, 5 deep. No. 6. 5. And that should allow us to do something like this. Bad water pumps. 1, 2. I don't want to fill that gap a little cleaner than that. So like this. And that goes in like that, that, and that. And this flips over to this side. Then if we wanted to, we could do something like this. A little double action. I don't think that's actually going to work. Is that wheel's in the way? Okay, well, that caused that problem there, but that's fine. How are we doing on this end? Things are slowly going in. Of course, eating up a lot of our computer's capacity to do things, but that's all right. Placing dynamite is a huge task to undertake. Go ahead and pull this down priority-wise. I'm tired of fighting that priority. I want to check on this. That still hasn't been connected. We didn't connect that portion right there. And nobody has the ability to get over here to connect that in. This little priority bump. Just get that taken care of. And that is all going in as wanted. That is not how high that needs to go. Beautiful. Absolutely glorious. And I am here for it. Probably could have pulled that over one more. That's fine. It meets the intent, and that's all that really matters. Cool, that's all in. This is ready to go. That means that you get to go pop right there. And then I get to put you in right here. Connect this up to there. Grab you, put you there. And pull this all the way across to this one Bad Johnny right there. And you guys get to be bots. I need that one there. And then you guys be connected there and there. And that is what we want to see. Now we can come in here, rip this out. all out real quick, just so that gets out of the way. We put this in on this bad Johnny right there. Grab that, throw that in right there. Just for giggles, we connect that up like such as give this the priority it desires or deserves. And that's what we want to see there. Now, that should be an extra 1200 horsepower going into all that. Means this should ramp up to something a little bit more than 1200 horsepower. And of course, I have blocked their access to that right there. Means I have to give them that right there. That should be relatively simple. Should be, being the operative term. And I think it'd be glorious. It'd be amazing, and it makes me happy. Now we do have bad water. We have access to bad water 4 days, and that will be what we want to see. Maybe we could set up some sort of system to open this up to allow water in so that this doesn't drop. I feel like it's going to drop substantially the moment we get all this plugged in. It could be wrong, but I feel like I'm not. And I also would love to give them a little bit of an easier way about doing this by giving them a little bit of bad water storage supply. Hit that button, pull that across there, and then that can go in like this. Now we've got plenty of storage for bad water in for that to meet all of our intent for our poor little beavers that need all of the bad water. Okay. Can we get these connected, please? That would be grand. There we go. That's an extra 1200 horsepower rocking and rolling through the free world, which is exactly what we want to see. We could even cut these out and put in... Oh, let's do that. Cut out 4 of these, and then put in a couple charging stations right here, just because we can. Give that the priority bump that it deserves, and that will be great and grand and glorious and what we want to see happen. Now, how is the rest of this coming along? I feel like we've solved, for the most part, our light show issue. I don't think I've ever actually put in this timer here to then connect to that bad Johnny to then do a tick and then 12 hours there and then connect you to you. But now we have, and this bad tide coming up is telling me that I cannot do this whole thing for a hot minute. I could. We have an outlet for all that bad water, but that's also a metric ton of water that's going to explode out of there the moment we pop this off. So I think that's going to have to wait until we have a drought running and not a bad tide, because that will cause a huge issue for us if we do that. And we don't want to have a huge issue here. We do not want huge issues for our poor little beaver friends. No, we do not. All right, cool. I love to see it. I'm happy with where we're at. We got this capped off back here. We got all that up and running. I believe we've filled this all in down here as well. So if we come down here, this should all be good. All uncovered. Right? Impermeable flooring for all my friends. Everything's covered up and everything's rocking and rolling. That's all in right there. These are not producing any more bad water for us. So I think what we can do is triple check our work once this bad tide kicks off. And I think we'll call this episode at that point. So what we're going to do is watch the rest of this get built up here. And we'll cut back in as soon as the bad tide kicks off and just check to make sure our entire system did as it's advertised to do. All right, there's the bad tide. Let's check on our system down here. Bank. We have capped everything off as advertised. No more poo water running through the system. I'm happy to say I believe we have won, and that is a good thing. All right, I'm out. See you.